Okay, welcome to my video channel. I've bought myself a car. It's a Triumph Spitfire 1977. It's in bits, as all good classic cars are. I've never owned a classic car before. I've always fancied one. I say I've always fancied one, I've never really been that bothered. I think maybe with men it's a coming of age thing. You get to a certain age and all of a sudden you have an interest in classic cars. I don't know, I've never really been a car guy, but over the last few years I've got a bit more in depth in my car. Started doing a lot more of the work on it myself, just because I'm a skinflint and I don't want to pay someone else to do it when I can do it. And I thought, yeah, you know, I do fancy a classic. I've never really liked Minis or MGs, I don't know why. Just never really listened. The original Beetles, some people love them, I can't stand them. Yeah, I never really knew why. But the Triumphs, they had a little something about them that I quite liked. But of course, if you want to own a classic, you need classic owners' money. Unless you're willing to take on a restoration project. And even then, sometimes they don't come up cheap. You can still pay thousands of pounds for something that's in bits in someone's shed. So, yeah, you're always taking a bit of a punt. But I found one that was going cheap. It was in bits. It does need some work. It has, like all I expect restoration projects, it has some redeeming features and some not so redeeming features. So we'll get into that as we go along. So it's my intention to keep a video diary as we go along. If nothing else than just from my personal records. If I ever decide I want to sell the car, it's handy to have something you can point out and say, here's all the work I've done on it, you know, go and watch the videos yourself. And also something I can look back on and say, you know, provided it comes out nicely, I can go back and say, yeah, you know what, I did that. I have no experience with restoring cars. Like I say, I've done a few bits of basic work on cars, like a lot of people, but I have no experience with restoration. And luckily I have a friend who knows a lot more about it than I do, who probably gets sick of the sight of me. And of course nowadays with the internet you've got forums, you've got YouTube, and you've got your classic Haynes manuals and owners forums, etc. So there's a lot more resources nowadays than there once were. So yeah, everything's out there to play for really. You just need to sort of grab hold of it by the nuts and go for it. So I have. So we'll see how we go. Fingers crossed, I have no idea. Let's go and have a look at it.
The old girl. Obviously the bonnet, front wings are off at the moment, and you can see there's a bit of corrosion there on the front wishbones, and there is red paint on the firewall there, where the previous owners started stripping it back and started doing it. You can see the chassis is also painted white as well. However, the white paint they've put on, I don't know what kind it was. It obviously wasn't primed properly because it's the rust is showing through. They've put in a replacement floor panel on the passenger side there. That's going to have to come out because the welding on it is not particularly good. Original dash is in there. It's got 26,000 miles on the clock. How many times that's been around I don't know. Obviously the seats are out at the moment, and you can see the original white paint there. Boot is obviously off. Roof is off. There's a couple bits of tin trim in the back there. Number plates in there somewhere. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of rust removal. Stripping bits and bobs off one at a time. Cleaning them, restoring them, putting them back on again. Wheels too, obviously they're Steelies, they're going to need stripping right back. All the tyres are going to be cracked, so they're going to need changing out. But in general, the shell is actually in pretty good condition, surprisingly. It doesn't look at the moment, it's obviously just been delivered in the rain, there's loads of crap all over it, but that'll all clean up, no problem at all. The chassis is in good nick, the shell's in good nick, the glass is all there, the doors need a bit of work, and the bonnet and boot is going to need a bit of work. And the engine should be fine. So yeah, like with all things, where the hell do you start?